Hey, Justin, you want to watch a movie?
Yeah, sure. What you got?
What do you think about,
No, I saw it last week.
Oh, what about,
Not again.
Oh. How about this?
Wait. You want me to watch what?
So what did you think of To Be or Not To Be?
It's the weirdest version of Hamlet I've seen. They only did this one phrase over and over again, and a bunch of Nazi stuff.
That's right, Justin is still on his vacation. We don't know where he is. I tried to get a hold of him, and apparently wherever it is, Bluetooth does not work. So we have instead TGC Liz
Hey!
and sitting in with this TGC Kiddo.
Hi.
Hi. And because I'm a good parent, I had everyone watch the 1942 anti-Nazi comedy film To Be or Not To Be, starring the one and only Jack Benny and Carole Lombard.
Not to be confused with the Mel Brooks version.
Not to be confused with the Mel Brooks version, which was directed by Alan Smithson and co-starring Anne Bancroft. So, welcome to those of you who are joining for the first time. This is You Want Me to Watch What? The Geek Cave subsidiary podcast. Usually it's Justin and I. This week it is my spouse and kid and I who have watched many movies together and some that we haven't. And so this time we watched something that, in this case, Liz hasn't seen before. Saw the remake.
Yep, I've seen the Mel Brooks version. That was my favorite one, Mel Brooks film for a long time.
But
didn't even know it was a remake.
Mm-hmm. And so we watched this, and now you get to join while we talk about it. So it's set in 1939. World War II is about to happen, and it begins with this narration of a neighborhood in Warsaw, Poland, with all of the names, and all of a sudden we zoom in on Adolf Hitler. And then find out that it's basically rehearsal for their satirical play, Gestapo. However, it's 1939 in Warsaw, Poland, and in order to avoid some political ramifications, the play is canceled. So instead, they will play Hamlet. Jack Benny plays Joseph Tura, who is a ham actor. Lots of kosher jokes get made at the expense of this.
So many.
The way he acts, I wouldn't order it. Kind of thing. And their troupe of actors. Well, the spouse, played by Maria Tura, who played by Carole Lombard, she gets an admiring letter from one of the Polish airmen who wants to meet her. And so she invites him back, and she says, come back when her husband begins the to be or not to be soliloquy. And he begins the thing, and I love the joke there where he gets out and the guy who's in the little booth to tell him, feeds him the lines like, to be or not to be, kind of thing. Which in the Mel Brooks version, I think he stepped on him.
At least once.
Anyway, he begins the soliloquy and then stops because this airman gets up. He's sitting like in the middle of the second row. And just all these people getting out. The airman thinks that he is actually making good moves on the wife. The wife is basically having a bit of a fun romp/laugh. She's not cheating on her husband. She's just she's enjoying the attention from this guy. Well, eventually war is declared because this walkout happens a couple of times. War is declared, and Sabinski, who is the name of the airman, he is called to England to be part of the RAF, the Polish forces of the RAF. It's dropping bombs, so forth. And the acting troupe is basically shut down. You know, we don't allow that kind of entertainments here. Fast forward a little while, and Sabinski is meeting with Seletsky.
That's some fun.
That's not going to cause any problems whatsoever. So Seletsky is a professor. He is a leader that is supposed to be meeting with the Polish resistance, and he's sitting with all of these Polish, soldiers, and they eventually get out of him. Oh, you're going to go meet with the resistance. Can you get a word to my mother? Can you contact my phone? And Seletsky says, well, write down all their names and addresses, and I'll see what I can do. And Sabinski, the airman, says, well, all of my family got out, but there is somebody I'd like you to look into, Maria Tura. And Seletsky says, and who's that? And that gets Sabinski kind of worried because everybody knows Maria Tura. She's one of the leading actresses in Warsaw. And since Seletsky doesn't know, Sabinski reports it. Well, come to find out that Seletsky is a spy for the Nazis. And so Sabinski is given permission. He flies to Warsaw. He gets there. He's supposed to make contact with the Polish resistance. He's not caught, but he isn't able to do so. And he runs away. And so Maria has to do it. He needs a place to hide, someplace where he's not going to be seen. And he sends Maria. This begins what is really the plot of this, where they need to protect the Polish underground from the Nazis. This is because there are 2 copies, not that we know it right away, but there are 2 copies of this list of names and addresses. Seletsky has them both, and he is supposed to give them up.
Just send one to the Gestapo, one to the
Gestapo, one to Berlin. So what we get is a huge comedy of errors, almost, as Jack Benny's character has to first dress up as a member of
Colonel Earhart.
Earhart.
Yeah, the head of the Gestapo.
Head of the Gestapo, and invite Seletsky in order to get that name. Finds out that there's a second group. Unfortunately, in the midst of all that, Seletsky smells the rat, and he gets killed. So now, Jack Benny's character has to dress as Seletsky in order to go to actual Gestapo headquarters in order to stop the actual... And it goes back and forth. And I'm not doing a good job of really explaining this because it's all in the little bitty scenes over and over again. It's in the, so the Germans now know that there are 2 Seletskys. One of them is real and dead, and one of them is not real and alive. How do we trap the one that's alive? And the one that's alive now has to get out of it. And so he shaves the real one and puts a fake beard on him in order to throw suspicion off. To know it is to watch it. It is not one of those that is ever going to do a good job of explaining it. Wikipedia has about 17 paragraphs on everything that's going on. What I want to talk about is it is a 1942, Polish resistance, anti-Nazi comedy film. Black comedy. Oh, the blackest of comedy. No. Dr. Strangelove is blacker than this. But this is a black comedy that still has a good happy ending. Or at least as happy ending as you could get in World War II.
Before the war is even over.
Mm-hmm. But it culminates in needing to fool the Gestapo into escorting the actors playing Hitler and entourage to safety in this madcap kind of thing, leading to, of course, to the punchline, which was in the Mel Brooks one as well, where the one to finally receive Maria Tura and get her out is the actor who's dressed as the Fuhrer, who just shocks the heck out of Colonel Earhart. Mm-hmm. So, and they end up landing in England and playing Hamlet in the land that for whom Shakespeare wrote, just in time for the to be or not to be speech, and a different guy gets up. So, talk to me about your experience of watching this, especially coming from the Mel Brooks one, which I've seen a few times, but don't have a strong memory of.
Well, and it was a lot of fun and really interesting to watch this because of all of the Mel Brooks things picking out. It's like, that was in that version. That's where that joke came from. Oh, they tweaked that joke. In the Mel Brooks version, they have a different set of things where they make fun of Hitler, instead of Hitler becoming cheese, Hitler is a pickle. Because he's such a sourpuss.
I don't get it, but oh no.
Well, and there's a lot more music in the Mel Brooks one.
More...
a little piece of Poland, a little piece of France.
This is the Mel Brooks version is serious, but it leans more towards the silly in the comedy. This one is a serious comedy, leaning more into the serious. Absolutely, it is a lot more serious.
The entirety of watching this, to me, leans into this notion that had World War II gone a different direction, the actors that were in this would have been executed.
Most likely.
TGCkiddo's looking at me with wide eyes. It's like, World War II was a bad thing. For most people that got involved. So, what did you think, TGCkiddo?
At first, I was like, why are they making a comedy about something bad that was happening?
Uh-huh.
Because it's not something to laugh about. Why are you making a comedy? Mm-hmm. And now my question is, if I'm getting this right, so it's basically actors playing actors pretending to be Nazis to trick the actual Nazis?
Yeah.
That's weird.
I'm a dude, dressed as a dude, disguised as another dude.
Trying to trick this dude.
You're not allowed to watch that movie I just referenced. You're just not. It's really inappropriate. So Carole Lombard, who played Maria Tura, the amount of, I'm going to say, casual misogyny that exists in it is pure 1942. It's I don't want to say it's more excusable, but it seems somehow better than what we would get in like the Sean Connery James Bonds.
Yeah. Which
were lending a little bit more toward the assaulty. Mm-hmm. This is more the I will protect you or kind of language.
Well, and she has quite a bit of agency in this.
She has so much. She is she's the smart one.
Well, she's willing to go out and just shoot the guy.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna accept the spy's invitation back to his hotel room, and I'll kill him.
Yeah, I'll take care of this. It'll all be done. And she doesn't have to. Although she does write him a nice suicide note.
She does. It never comes back up.
It didn't come back up.
We only assume she must have gotten rid of it.
Yep. So Carole Lombard died shortly after the filming of this plane crash. So they didn't actually know if they were going to release the film. Mm-hmm. The film released about a month after she died. Mm. Yeah. So Jack Benny, of course, would go on to do late night TV.
Yeah. And still be kind of a ham.
And very much so. Very much so. But a joyful, lovable one. Mm-hmm. So the final question that we typically ask is this a see it from you or a wait on it or a not see it? Or
I would say for me it is definitely a see it, both from the historical standpoint and if you've seen the Mel Brooks one, if you like the Mel Brooks one, watching this one is very interesting to see where a lot of those ideas and what the changes were, kind of came from, because it is a totally different audience. and a totally different time period.
Oh, so different, because Mel Brooks, I think that one was in 82.
It was in the 80s. I
82. And, I mean, the Berlin Wall just fallen down.
Yeah.
Well, been dismantled, stone by stone. Or was that was 89. 82, we were still in the midst of, oh my goodness. I really got to study my history again.
Well, you were very young in 82.
That's true. That's true. For those of you who want to send gifts, you can send them to Darren. But today is my birthday. It's not coming out on my birthday. The day we're recording is my
we're
birthday.
recording on your birthday.
That's right.
That was your
Happy
birthday
birthday
movie.
to me. We're going to watch some Nazis
See them be humiliated.
by a guy named Jack Benny.
Cha cha cha.
Cha.
So this is a see it for me. This is a movie that I absolutely think should be seen. It is not a movie that you can walk in and out of.
Oh no, you gotta sit and watch this one.
So
Because if you're walking in and out, you're not gonna know if you're looking at the real, spy, if you're looking at someone in costume.
right, and so we've talked a couple times on the podcast about things like a laundry movie. You know, it's the movie you put on when you're folding laundry and you need to get up and do a thing.
Yeah.
You know, there are movies like that. You know, this one, it's a movie that you have to watch because there are too many moving parts and too many small, short scenes that if you miss them, then you lose the context for what's coming up later.
Well, you lose, there's a, I would almost say bit character, but he comes up over and over again delivering the Shylock speech. And it's just, few times he comes up and it's leading to this beautiful,
This great moment at the end to trick the Gestapo.
to become the distraction, but also deliver that really poignant speech of we're just all humans. We,
Stop doing this.
which is a powerful message in the midst of World War II when you got all of the things that happened in World War II.
All the things. Because at this point in 1942, when this is coming out, we still didn't know the whole breadth of what was going on. So, yeah. This is a see it for me. It's a see it from you. What about you, TGC Kiddo? Should people watch this?
I didn't get it that much, but
Well,
it's based on opinion.
you also are very young.
So maybe not see it if you are pre-teenager, but wait a few years.
Wait until next time. I'll have you watch Poltergeist or something.
No, we won't.
Yeah, we probably won't.
I don't know what that movie is.
It's about ghosts, mostly, and television. Well, I guess if Justin's still incognito or, traveling where the satellites can't reach, it'll be your turn to pick something next time.
Woo! I've got a few ideas.
All right.